Have you ever wondered what happens when visual art, sacred geometry, and personal wellness all intersect? Well, today we're going to dive into a pretty fascinating world where these intricate designs are seen as more than just art. They're presented as actual tools for healing and self-discovery.
And right off the bat, the source material gets, well, pretty poetic about it. It describes these artworks as the melodies and music of the multiverse, creations of infinite sacred geometry. You know, it's a really beautiful kind of mystical starting point. But what are we actually looking at here? Let's break it all down.
So that poetic description, it really leads us to the big question. What exactly are these mythoGRAFIX?
Okay, so here's the official breakdown. They're described as visual artworks based on sacred geometry, which is this idea that certain geometric shapes and patterns hold a sacred, universal meaning. These designs then mix in myth, symbols, and color, and the whole point is to act as a medium for inner exploration and energetic alignment.
But to really wrap your head around this, we need to get into the mind of the creator, Pahl-Kaupp. His entire philosophy is built around this idea of seeing what our normal senses just completely miss.
So here it is. This is the idea that drives the whole thing. According to the creator, our five senses, what we see, hear, touch, and so on, they only pick up, at best, just 3 to 5% of total reality. Think about that for a second. The vast majority of what's really going on around us is totally invisible to us.
All right, so if we're basically blind to 95% of what's out there, how in the world do we tap into it? Well, this is where the art comes in. The creator calls these graphics visual anchors. They're basically tools designed to help us reconnect with that hidden world of frequencies and energies. And this really speaks to the personal journey behind it all. The creator himself puts it this way: my graphics are a way to discover deeper, unknown parts of myself, easily and with pleasure. The big takeaway here is that word, easily. It's designed to be this accessible path to self-discovery, something that doesn't require years of special training.
Okay, so the philosophy is pretty wild, right? But how does any of this actually work in practice? Let's shift gears from the why to the how-to.
This is the first question anyone would have, right? If every single one of these pieces has a specific energetic purpose, how do you possibly figure out which one is the right one for you? And the answer, according to the source material, is genuinely surprising. You don't have to do anything. Seriously, no logical analysis, no deep research, no overthinking it.
So instead of using your head, the whole process is about feeling. You're just supposed to follow your feelings, trust that gut instinct. Let your heart and soul do the choosing. The whole idea is that the graphic that you're drawn to is, by definition, the one that's meant for you. Simple as that.
Just look at these two designs. You can really see how different they can be. And once you've intuitively picked one, well, what you do with it goes way beyond just putting it on your wall.
And this is where the applications get really, really interesting. The source materials suggest using them for meditation or placing them under your food or water to energize them, even putting one under your bed to improve your sleep. And it's also suggested as a tool for therapists who are doing what they call energetic rebalancing.
Okay, hang on, because this is where the system goes from this intuitive, feeling-based thing to something incredibly specific. Let's dig into the detailed framework that's behind all these claims about healing frequencies.
So, it turns out every single one of these artworks is part of this massive, structured system. It's not random at all. According to the source, each design is precisely mapped to 3 things: a unique frequency measured in hertz, a negative belief it's supposed to help with, and a very specific healing purpose. And this table here, wow, it gives you a little taste of just how detailed we're talking. And remember, this is just a tiny sample from a much, much longer list. But you can see how the source connects a condition like Alzheimer's to a specific frequency, 850 hertz, the belief I don't know / anger, and even an associated archangel, in this case, Chamuel. It's a really comprehensive framework trying to link the art to very specific outcomes.
Okay, so we've got the art, the philosophy, and this incredibly detailed system. But to really give you the full picture, we have to look at 2 more things: the validation the creator presents and the really important disclaimers that go with it.
So, in the source material, there's a professional endorsement from Eli Chan, who's a health kinesiology practitioner. This is a type of therapy that uses muscle monitoring to find imbalances in the body. She says, "I integrate mythoGRAFIX into my therapeutic sessions. My experience shows they are remarkably effective as complementary healing instruments."
And right next to that endorsement, the source is also crystal clear about this medical disclaimer. It makes it very, very plain that this is for educational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional medical advice. The document really stresses that you should always, always consult a qualified healthcare provider for any medical condition.
So, what do we make of all this? We have this fascinating system where sacred geometry, intuitive art, and a detailed energetic framework all converge. And it really just leaves us with this one final, thought-provoking question for you to chew on. When art and energy intersect, where does belief end, and where does healing truly begin?